All right, you can start.
Okay, a pleasant good night, sir and classmates. Kathy and myself will now be presenting the final chapter of the text, Leading Change. This chapter explores how leaders facilitate creativity, innovation, and change. Today, we will first take a brief look at the need to change in today's organization, key characteristics of leaders, 8 stage modules of planning change, strategies of leaders, brainstorming. Okay, what is change? According to Cutler, change requires creating a new system, which in turns always demand leadership. Leading change, according to Higgins and Rowland, is the ability to influence and endorse others through personal advocacy, vision and drive, and to access resources to build a solid platform. Change or perish. If an organization cannot change its external pace to keep up with the external pace, they will eventually perish. Social, economic, and technological changes are moving at a rapid pace, and if organizations fail to adapt to their environment, they will be left behind. But there are some characteristics all leaders can adapt to prevent this. These characteristics are as followed. They define themselves as change leaders rather than people who want to remain the same status quo. They demonstrate courage. They believe in their employees' capability to assume responsibility. They are able to assimilate and articulate values that promote adaptability. They recognize and learn from their own mistakes. They are capable of managing complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. They have vision and can describe their vision for the future in vivid terms. Leading major change. Leading change can Leading change takes 8 steps which leaders have to take the responsibility of guiding employees and organizations through. Skipping any change can cause the process to fall even though overlapping may occur. The steps are as follows. Stage 1. Leaders establish a sense of urgency. In many cases, the need to change isn't obvious, and leaders have to make that need to change known. After it is identified, they must now find a way to communicate this information broadly and dramatically. Stage 2. Establishing a coalition. For the change process to succeed, there must be a shared commitment to the need and possibility for organizational transformation. Stage 3. Developing a vision strategy. Leaders are responsible for formulating and articulating a compliant vision that will guide a change and develop strategies to achieve that vision. Stage 4. Communicate the vision and strategy. Leading must Leaders must communicate about the change at least 10 times more than they think necessary. Transformation is impossible unless majority of the people in the organization are involved and willing to help make that sacrifice. Stage 5. Empowering employees throughout organization to act on a vision. This means getting rid of any obstacle of the change, which may require changes in system, structure, or procedures that hinder or undermine the change efforts. People are empowered with knowledge, resources, and that makes things happen. Stage 6 generates short term wins. Leaders planning for improvement enable them to happen. It celebrates employees and celebrates employees who were involved in that improvement. Major change take time, and the transformation effect lose momentum if there are no short-term accomplishments that employees can recognize and celebrate. Stage 7, keep up with the urgency and tackle bigger problems. Successful change leaders don't simply declare victory after small wins. They use courage to give people the energy and power to take on more difficult issues. Make stage 8, make the change stick. The transformation isn't over until the change have well-established roots. Leaders instill new values, attitude, and behaviors so that employees view the change as something not new but normal. Leading everyday change. Leaders can learn strategies for everyday change that will significantly impact everyday small actions spread to others in the organization. These strategies are as followed. Create self-expression. This is the least way to improve change, but it does help and involves a single leader acting in a way that others will notice and that reflects the values or behaviors he or she would like to instill in their followers. Right words. With this strategy, a leader turns negative attitude, comments, or behavior into a positive response that sometimes others will notice. Right opportunities. A more public approach for a leader to look for, create, and capitalize an opportunity for motivating others to change. Alliance building. With strategic alliance building, the leader works closely with others to move issues to the forefront more quickly and directly than they would be possible to move if they were alone. Creativity and innovation. What must one do to survive in the 21st century? 500 CEOs at American Management Association answered, practice creativity and innovation. Creativity is the generation of ideas that may be both novel and useful for improving effective and or effectiveness for any organization. One of the most important tasks of a leader is to harness the creative energy of all employees to spur innovation and further interest of the organization. Leaders can build an environment that encourages creativity and helps the organization be more innovative. Characteristics of an innovative organization and creative people. Some characteristics for an innovative organization is creative value, self-confidence, communication within the company, a diverse stimuli, and open minds. Some characteristics for the creative individual is energy, focus approach, the love for people, and emotional expression. Leading creative people. Leaders of today's organization have powerful reasons to encourage creativity. As we discussed in chapter as we discussed in chapter 1, many organizations are undergoing fundamental transformation to respond to new challenges. New ideas would come from employees. In addition, people can more create when they are helped to be open-minded, curious, and willing to take risk. Leaders can increase individual creativity by by facilitating brainstorming, lateral thinking, and creative tuition. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming is a technique that uses a face-to-face group to to spontaneously suggest a broad range of ideas to solve a problem. Group discussion to produce ideas or solve problems. Brainstorming has been found to be highly effective and quickly generating a wide range of creative alternatives. After all the ideas are expressed and recorded, the group can have another session to discuss and evaluate which ideas or combination will be best for the problem. The keys to effective brainstorming are: no criticism. Group members should not criticize or evaluate ideas in any way during a spontaneous generation of ideas. All ideas are considered valuable. Free, freewheeling is welcome. Freewheeling is welcome. People should express any idea that comes to mind, no matter how weird or fanciful. Brainstormers should not be timid about expressing creative thinking. Quantity desire. The goal is not to generate as many ideas as possible. The more ideas are better. A large quantity of idea increase the likelihood of finding excellent solution. Combining ideas is also encouraged. And now I will hand you over to Miss Rampasa.
Hi. Any questions thus far?
That's
Hello?
Any questions? Oh no, should we continue?
No questions.
Okay.
Lateral thinking. Literal thinking. What is literal thinking? Literal thinking can be defined as a set of systematic techniques used for changing mental concepts and perceptions and generating new ones. With lateral thinking, people move sideways, try different perceptions, different concepts, and different points of entry to gain a novel solution. Lateral thinking appears to solve a problem by an unorthodox or apparently illogical method. Lateral thinking makes an unusual mental connection that is concerned with possibilities and what might be. To stimulate lateral thinking, leaders provide people with opportunities to use different parts of their brain. When people take time off from working on a problem and change what they are doing, it is possible to activate different areas of the brain. For example, a NASA scientist was taking a shower in a German hotel while pondering how to fix the distorted lens in the Hubble telescope in 1990. Nobody could figure out how to fit a corrective mirror into the hard to reach space inside the orbiting telescope. The engineer noticed that the European style showerhead mounted on adjustable rods. This perception connected with the Hubble problem, as he realized the corrective mirrors could be extended into the telescope on similar folding arms. Lateral thinking came to the rescue. Creative intuition. The first stage is gathering data. The creative flash of insight leaders want to awaken in the second stage of creativity. The mind is gathering data constantly, especially when you are studying background materials on a problem to be solved. Then the creative insight bubbles up as intuition from the deeper subconscious. Intuition has a broader reach than any analytical process focused solely on the problem at hand. Creativity often occurs during a mental pause, a period of mixed tension and relaxation. In the shower or while exercising, driving, walking, or meditating, the mind reverts to a neutral, somewhat unfocused state in which it is receptive to issues or themes that have not been resolved. A temporary activity that is relatively simple and mindless can provide the moment for a creative flash from deep in the subconscious. If any analytical part of the mind is too focused and active, it shuts down the spontaneous part. Let's understand your creative intuition. So we're going to play a little game. It's a mind game. Please try. Each set of three words has something in common. Let's do the first one. Anybody could figure out what is the common factor in number one?
I'm trying to figure it out. April, locker room, better.
If you can't figure it out, it's okay. You could say you can't figure it, and I will show you the answer.
And it's not fair. I know all these answers, so you'll try and see if you could find what is a common word that can be utilized with all those things. All right,
Remember to
to help you along, the first one is showers. April showers, locker room showers. A bride to be has a bridal shower. Okay, so start thinking.
remember to put on your creative thinking hats.
The third one is I.
Third one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is I, but we need someone to do the second one so I could reveal the answer.
Okay. um,
Anyone get the second one yet?
all right. No.
Sorry?
This just tells me nobody read this chapter. You know? Yeah, oh my God. All right, so the second one is pin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as she said, the third one was
Third
I.
one was I have the hurricane. Yeah, the camera. I have a needle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. Implementing change. Leaders often see innovation, change, and creativity as a way to strengthen the organization, but many people view change only as painful and disruptive. A critical aspect of leading people through change is understanding that resistance to change is natural and that there are often legitimate reasons for it. Personal compact. Personal compact can be described as the reciprocal obligations, and commitments that define the relationship between employees and the organization. The personal compact incorporates elements such as mutual trust and dependence, as well as shared values. When employees perceive that change violates the personal compact, they are likely to resist. An example would be that a new general manager at the Dallas Fort Worth Marriott wanted to change the incentive system to offer bonuses tied to the hotel's financial performance, but the employees balked. They were thinking, here comes the wicked witch of the West, taking my stuff away. The manager said, there are management tools available to help implement innovation and change. Tools for implementation. Leaders can improve the chances for a successful outcome by following the 8-stage model discussed earlier and using the strategies we discussed for incremental everyday everyday change. For everyday change, effective leaders use elements such as storytelling, metaphor, humor, symbolism, and personal touch to reach to people on an emotional level and sell them on proposed changes. Leaders also use a number of specific implementation techniques to smooth the change process. Communication and training. Open and honest communication is perhaps the single most effective way to overcome resistance to change because it reduces uncertainty. It gives people a sense of control, clarifies the benefits of change, and builds trust. Participation and involvement. Participation involves followers in helping to design the change. Although this approach is time consuming, it pays off by giving people a sense of control over the change activity. They come to understand that the change better and become committed to its successful implementation. Coercion. As a last resort, leaders overcome resistance by threatening employees with the loss of jobs or promotions or by firing or transferring them. Coercion may be necessary in crisis situations when a rapid response is needed. The two phases of change. Effectively and humanely leading change is one of the greatest challenges for leaders. The, nat- the nature of the nature and pace of change in today's environment can be exhilarating and even fun, but it can also be inconvenient, painful, and downright scary. Even when a change appears to be good for an individual, employees, as well as the organization, it can lead to decreased morale, lower commitment, and diminished trust if not handled carefully. Some of the most difficult changes are those related to structure, such as redefining positions and responsibilities, re-engineering the company, redesigning jobs, departments, or divisions, or downsizing the organization. Leadership and downsizing. Downsizing refers to intentionally reducing the size of a company's workforce. During the boom years of the 1990s, few leaders had to be concerned with the need for laying off employees, but the economic downturn of the early 2000s made massive downsizing a common practice in American corporations. Some researchers have found that massive downsizing has often not achieved the intended benefits, and in some cases and has significantly harmed the organization. When job cuts are necessary, leaders should be prepared for increased conflict and stress, even greater resistance to change, and a decrease in morale, trust, and employee commitment. Leaders should provide advance notice with as much information as possible, even when they're not concerned about what exactly is going to happen. Leaders should be as open and honest with employees as possible. Providing assistance to displaced workers, such as through training programs, severance packages, extended benefits, outplacement assistance, and counseling for counseling service for both employees and their families, so it can ease the trauma associated with a job loss. Many companies provide counseling to help remaining employees handle the emotional difficulties associated with downsizing as well. Leaders can attain positive results if they handle downsizing in a way that enables remaining organization members to be motivated, productive, and committed to a better future. The end. That is it for our presentation.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, no, if nobody has any questions, I'll pause the recording.